Do you want to do a podcast? We make a darn good team. It always goes without a hitch. Let's head to Twitch and go start up the stream. Do you want to do a podcast? It's the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Let's start now. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Come?
Alright, I'll do my own bits myself.
Oh wait, no silence.
We're doing it. Get off the road.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Boater.
You know what? Good to go?
I believe so.
We did it!
Ow!
That didn't work. Hold on.
Victory Royale, baby!
That's fun. We did it! Should we tell them what we did, or shall we make them wait in suspense while we just sit here silly and stringed? Hold on. Hold on. Shave and a haircut. There we go. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I'm Boater.
Hang on, I'm going to get rid of the Victory Royale over our heads.
Oh. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I'm Boater.
I'm Dave, man.
Dave, before we really get into it and why we're celebrating, what do you call an elf leader who writes science fiction, distrusts practitioners of mental medical care, and founded a cult-like religion?
L. Ron Hubbard.
Yep, L. Ron Hubbard.
I think that's the first time in the history of this program that I guessed what the...
So we have two things to celebrate! That's on the ceiling. Yours had some range. I mean, no, that wasn't us watching the VOD.
I'm gonna clean. That's gonna clean up super easily.
Okay, just making sure.
By the way, this is scented, so enjoy.
I can tell
the smell. But one of the stories we have covered very closely
for a year now.
In fact, an organization, a federation, a brotherhood, a collection of groups such as the Nerd Glasses, Epic Games, and then other companies that have foreign names that I can't pronounce
and are really weird to show up in a group with for a gaming cause. But
the Coalition for App Fairness has been fighting Apple tooth and nail in court, and on Friday, did my pad go?
Weekend. I'm slipping. This stuff is. There's a lot of.
On the weekend, Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers ruled.
Yes, he did.
She.
Oh, damn it.
They ruled that Epic will no longer be allowed to prohibit
Apple
developers.
Apple will no longer be allowed to. You said Epic.
Did I?
Yes, you did. You need to get it right.
Let's just.
One is the oppressor, and one is our wonderful little brother who does a lot more.
Edit the video, so we'll start the pitch over again. Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers ruled that Apple will no longer be allowed to prohibit developers from providing links or other communications that direct users away from Apple in-app purchasing.
Yes!
Yeah, baby! So, that is one of the biggest victories that the Coalition for App Fairness busting up monopolies and things like that. Regardless of the fact that
That must have been like just such a win. That must have been tip of the iceberg. So I didn't actually see the results because I knew you were gonna be talking about this. So I'm sure like Epic just won across the board, right? Just wiped the floor with Apple,
yes,
right?
they absolutely did, Boater. The case was won. 1 out of 9 counts. That's right, baby. We got the one. Woo!
Wait.
Devs will no longer provide links for communication.
So you mean that Apple won one of the counts and Epic won the rest, right? That's why we're celebrating it's such a big victory.
Apple stock dropped 3% on Friday.
Hey!
But unfortunately, in the Coalition for Apps Fairness's quest to bust monopolies, to destroy the injustice. No, injustice fits about right for the Coalition of App Fairness. Fighting, unfortunately, Insane Games TV's little brother, Epic Games, didn't leave that court case without a black eye and a couple scuffed knees.
Oof.
But don't worry, Epic Games. Insane Games TV is here for you. We'll be your big brother. We'll tell you you'll get him next time. We'll give you a roll of quarters to hold in that hand as
keep
you
going,
punch
champ.
in. Take the thumb out of the hand when you do it again. Great points, though, Epic. Great points in court talking about how you don't have association with pornographic materials, and excellent that you defended the Banana Man skin besuited during the case. By the way, reading the transcripts for this stuff is wild.
It's been a really nutso thing to follow. Some of the transcripts are out there. Some of the dirty laundry of the industry that it's been airing has just been very incredible.
But our facetious declaration of victory royale, whereas our little brothers in Epic Games are the forebearers, the forerunners, and the leaders of the Coalition for App Fairness, only behind the Nerd Glasses podcast, the only broadcast program that covers it on a weekly basis, or as stories developed.
We're honorary members. We never actually paid the fee, but still, it counts.
The $69, might I add.
Nobody ponied up. I couldn't
join.
be bothered. So in court, Apple. It was determined that Apple cannot keep developers from pointing outside of the app and saying you can pay for it directly there so that we get a larger share.
Yes.
Fair. That's actually a really good result to see.
So
this whole time when we drop out of the facetiousness of we're Epic, Epic's our little brother, blah, 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 that's something that has been kind of, that's a result I want to see.
But seriously, in earnest, in character still, that's the whole reason for the Coalition of App Fairness.
Yeah.
And that was one of the main tenets of the Coalition for App Fairness.
We
What's
checked.
going on,
We
Akai, by
also
the way?
checked internet database history to make sure that they didn't sneakily change it to try to demand more.
Nope. The Coalition for App Fairness, although they are not satisfied and they will not quit, Apple lost 1 out of 10 counts, baby, and that counts. Ew!
Some of the other counts that were up in court, the results are that Fortnite will not get relisted in the App Store.
Boater. And there's where...
Because the count was that, as much as, it may have been unjust, whatever, like, the count, they didn't rule that Apple was a monopoly because there are other... oh, my God. Okay, we'll get to that. Because there are other platforms and such like that. They ruled that Epic had broken terms of service, and so whatever else the rest of the result may have been, oh my God, the foil. Whatever other results may have been, the fact is that they still broke terms of service that existed at the time, so they cannot force Apple to reinstate. I don't have the full list of the counts and the verdicts on them. For some reason, I trusted Dave with that, and I am now regretting that decision. Hold on. I need to draw your SF on there. That didn't work.
It's close enough. But
It's not.
would you like a tinfoil hat?
No.
For we are about to enter the conspiracy zone. Lawyers need leave the room. Legal representations of Epic
Dave, you've
and
led
Apple.
me deep enough into the conspiracy zone with the Kojima stuff. Let's not start on this now, too.
Oh, but sir, I have more tinfoil for that for another time, because there's more to come. But this is now a meeting for the Coalition of App Fairness's wing of Get Fortnite Back on Apple, and here are some ideas that I've concocted to get Fortnite back on. First of all, do you want me to go with the big one that I know will work really well, or do you want me to go with the ones that I kind of spitballed while I was in the shower?
Why don't you go ahead and work your way up?
All right, so...
Actually, no. Let's start with the reasonable one and then get crazier from there.
Okay, so what game is banned and did so violate the terms of service for Apple's licensing agreements and such?
That was Fortnite.
Ah, which game?
Fortnite.
And you'd think, but if you change the name of it, you've changed the properties, you've changed the game too much, and people won't know what it is. But Boater, there is
Dave, they're not just going to change its name to 2 weeks and magically get it relisted.
No, they won't. But they can change the game in its entirety if they call it, and they won't lose a single bit of branding. Ready? Ready for this? Tinfoil hats on, believers! Tinfoil hats on! Or skeptical eye rolling for you and the Boatarians.
Is it this? Is this what it's being renamed to?
What? No! No, no.
Okay.
No, no.
I had
Okay.
my guess. Keep going.
Epic Games should attempt and send through to Apple a new game, a new IP, with name and brand recognition that already rivals Fortnite.
Demon Dragon, please drop a picture of you with your tinfoil hat into the Insane Games TV Discord. Everybody, drop pictures of you and your tinfoil hats into the Discord.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, Epic Games is going to list the game The Fortnite.
The Fortnite.
The Fortnite, because that's how people know it. They know it as The Fortnite. Not Fortnite, The Fortnite. That is how they will get around all of the legal rigmarole that Fortnite caused.
Dave, are you
because
Mark
it's
Zuckerberg circa 2007?
maybe and perhaps.
You wish.
But,
It's in my lungs.
my other ideas, if you're not a fan of The Fortnite, just make it Night Fort. Make all the maps dark. Put no natural light sources. Suddenly, it's a new game. New mechanics. Or shave the name Night off there, keep it lit, and just call it Fort. It's a game about building anyway, and y'all know who wins because they build the forts in the bottom of the circle. In fact, another way you could get it relisted is to list it as Fort-Night and make one fact changed, Boater, and that's to add 100th player to every time. One player controls the circle. Boom! And if they manage to kill all 99 other players, they win the whole thing. I think of the parents of the target audience call it the Fortnite. Exactly. People will know parents will know just what it is when they open their iOS devices and things like that and see it. Boater, I believe this whole thing, tinfoil hat still on.
Are we still in what you consider to be the reasonable approaches?
Well, yes, of course.
Okay.
The tinfoil hat's on, Boater. This is all reasonable things. This,
Okay.
me getting just an absurd pay raise from my 9 to 5. I don't do enough work here at Insane Games. No, seriously. Thank you, Steve, for all that you do to edit our videos.
Dave does a lot. Let's give Dave a round of applause for... Yay!
However, if you do want to,
You can pay the
Subscribe.
$69 for us to actually be in the coalition for App Fairness.
Subscribe at the hang on. Just-
Subscribe, cheer, all that nice stuff.
Subscribe at the $9.99 level, and you can get the Dave emote. But back to serious business and serious matters. I do believe that Apple is entirely leaving their player base, who is known for rich mounds of gaming prowess on their Apple devices, to not have Fortnite among those games played. I do so believe that Fortnite being added, Nightfort, yeah, or the Fortnite. Think about it. I'll forego my 10% commissions fee for this idea, Epic. This is just for you. But
You done?
yeah. I believe for now the tinfoil hat is coming off, and we can talk about the many other stories. However, in seriousness,
To recap, the verdict came through, and the one that is actually about making things fair for developers on the App Store, allowing developers to say there are other ways for you to be able to help us out. Holy crap, that is still open from last Tuesday. You can close that. And you can point people to other places for payment. Go for it. All Apple needs to do, because they've talked about their closed ecosystem and everything like that, all they need to do is that when there's an external link, they just have a pop-up box that says you are leaving this approved Apple app, and Apple is not responsible for what you may find on third-party sites. Boom, done. That's the kind of thing that's been in like multiplayer disclaimers for 20 years, that the ESRB doesn't rate online interaction, and basically Apple cannot vet third-party sites. Done.
You're no
Epic
longer
lost
liable.
everything else because of the way that they went about things. They could have started it off with a lawsuit and probably gotten this victory of whether they're of their, you know what I'm trying to say, of Apple allowing external payment just with a lawsuit, but instead they broke terms of service and got the public involved in it, and it was just a very douchey way to do things. So I'm eminently happy with the results. Shall we move forward?
Just that the judge did say, while declaring the verdict, that success is not a monopoly. In talking about their ruling, which really did bruise Epic's whole attack during their time in court and things like that, and kind of showed that the judge, although wholly unamused by Apple's practices and things like that, was not moved by Epic's points made.
Yeah. Cool. Moving forward, Twitch bans, none. Because most of the
Well, again, there were some, but they're none of note that are of the variety we used to do.
So instead, we will bring up the fact that Twitch is filing suit against Cruise Control and Creatine Overdose for as two people that are linked to hate raids. They're alleged to have organized, promoted, and engaged in hate raids at a very large scale. The problem is that Twitch doesn't actually know the actual people behind those accounts. It's suspected that Cruise Control is in the Netherlands and Creatine Overdose is in Austria, but they've started the paperwork and the court proceedings and international court proceedings building a case. They just haven't linked a name to it yet, but in doing this, they can, get, international police forces involved, Interpol, or whatever. I don't know. They're working on it. So, although the individual usernames of Cruise Control and Creatine Overdose are banned, and when they come up with like Creatine Unbanned, that gets banned too, and blah blah blah. You get the idea. Sure, banned on Twitch, super banned through the legal system. That's quote banned on Twitch this week. Anything to add on?
So I couldn't help but notice. Friday I streamed, Sunday I streamed. and between going live on Friday and then Sunday, I got followed by 30 different of those
Hoss.
bot channels.
Oh my god.
And already have an algorithm that bans them the second they get followed. So once again, if
Wonderful.
you have the username of the word Hoss in your title,
Sorry, get it changed.
sorry, but message me. You're not going to be interested in watching my personal stuff, but that's why.
Yeah, if you believe
Um,
you have been banned in error, always
in error,
contact us.
please contact. But I
Yeah.
can't help but notice that I got an email from Twitch today
Yeah.
in regards to refunding subscriptions,
Yes, refunding recurring subscriptions.
and it emphasized, we hear you and we want to help and this and that and the other, but once again really didn't mention anything else going on.
yeah.
However, in the case of matters as a business, Tim the Tatman has left Twitch and announced it
Mhm.
2 weeks ago now.
Yep.
A lot of other big streamers that people may have had reoccurring subscriptions to
Yeah.
indefinitely moving forward that are now moot, where in the past, when say a Ninja or other streamers, when Dr. District was banned, they there was no policy. You were,
Yeah.
hey, sorry, you subscribed to this person, be more careful with your money. They didn't say that, but that's pretty much
Yeah, that was kind of the
the
gist.
gist.
So yeah, I like that they're it's not what the hot button topic is, but that's kind of nice.
It's hot button for a certain audience, and again, the money talks, and
But it's not the press talks. It's not what has been working its way through the press right now. So it's at least like this is we were working on this. We got this going at least. So it's something. We'll take it.
and they did put a link, by the way, in that email that you can write directly to folks and yada 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 about etc. And I did send them an email about hate raids and things.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
and you can too. And anyone who gets emails from Twitch, please do. So that's. Do you have anything else on the matter?
I
now
do
that I'm
not
gonna
on that particular topic.
turn it
no.
back to you.
So I'll pass it to you.
Back to
Anything-
back to what we usually do at the top of the
Yeah, yeah.
programs. 30 minutes in, but
Yeah, right.
a game that's coming out today, and I am pretty excited for because it's a PS5 exclusive from a company that got purchased. Their holding company got purchased by sorry, I'm just salty about the fact that I'm probably not going to get Elder Scrolls 6 on time. But ZeniMax Media, oh yes, I will cry big ugly tears the day that I find out that my PS5 will not get me my sweet, sweet Elder Scrolls. But big ugly tears. I hurt my own feelings. But the
If I have
Bethesda
two
title...
I'm choosing between two segues to go off from that. Please finish what you're talking
the
about.
Bethesda title that is coming out today for the PlayStation 5 and PC is Deathloop.
Okay.
A game that, if you've seen anything talking about next-gen systems, you have seen previews of this game. It does have a one-year exclusive to PlayStation 5, and then it will be released on the Series X and the S. And it is a action shooter. A little bit of a plot overview. You are playing an assassin. You are on an island where people have decided they are going to have a 24-hour party. The only hint is, at the end of that 24 hours, the day resets.
Okay.
It's like a madcap Groundhog Day without Bill Murray sort of thing. And I am extremely excited to get my hands on this game in the near future, get to play it, get to stream some of it, get to show it off, especially because it'll be one of the first-party PS5 AAA PS5 games that I definitely look forward to playing, and things like that. So definitely come check it out on PC and PlayStation 5 today.
Sorry about that. I have
No
a
worries.
family function later in
I
the
will-
week that someone's trying to coordinate with me for.
I was gonna
so.
say if you want, I can
No,
go into
I
another
will
Bethesda
segue
story I
off
got.
of that because you mentioned that as a game that is PS5 and PC and a timed exclusive at that. And another game was announced this past week that will be doing the same thing. That was the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake. It was the quote is, "It's a console exclusive on PlayStation 5 at launch," which is the closest that I've heard anybody get to the words timed exclusive in about 7 years. Um, it was a great phrase back when Rise of the Tomb Raider came out on Xbox. Timed exclusive, what does that mean? What does that mean? Now we know, and now they're moving on to other verbiage. But I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a remake, kind of like how Final Fantasy VII was a remake, not a remaster. It's being done by Aspire, who ported and remastered KOTOR to mobile. They've also worked on a lot of other classic Star Wars game ports. They did Star Wars Racer onto the Switch and stuff like that. So they've done a lot of Star Wars stuff. They haven't done a game from the ground up. I don't know if they're going to be using I imagine as a remaster they're probably going to be redoing all of the audio assets for it. So it's not, I don't think that they're going to be like reusing, and I think they're going to strip it down to the skeleton and build it back up.
Just like Dead Space that they showed.
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
talked about.
exactly. So
And many other games, but that's a
it'll
callback
be
to a recent.
interesting to see what they do with it. I don't know the last game that they did that was that like ground up kind of thing, rather than, all right, here's the code, how do we get it to work on this other machine, and high res the graphics a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. Although nothing was said after the PS5, we can assume that it's going to come at least to Series X in a year or so, if not other consoles as well. Yeah, I mean, I love Knights of the Old Republic. That game was damn near formative for me.
So you watched the PlayStation announcements and things like that and you saw KOTOR.
I didn't watch all the announcements,
Well, no,
but I
but
did
you saw
watch the
that
trailer for
announcement, yeah.
KOTOR, yeah, where they have like dialogue and, oh my god, it's Jennifer Hale, and look, it's Revan with a lightsaber. Woo!
So I'm gonna pan back real quick to something I talked about last week
Okay.
because they showed more trailers of the Alan Wake remaster coming out on October 5th, and it's gonna be so good.
They did. They showed stuff with the Alan Wake remaster. They showed God of War Ragnarok stuff. They killed it. All reports are they did really well for that PlayStation event.
And they needed to, but
Also true, because if I have to like recommend a system to somebody right now, after last week when we talked about Horizon Forbidden West not, being the last one to have a free upgrade from a previous gen, how hard both next gen systems are to find, the fact that Xbox Game Pass is the best thing to happen to gaming in 5 years or so, like it's really hard for me to recommend a PS5 over a Series X. This is as an avowed Xbox not fanboy, but prefer Xbox. So take that with a grain of salt.
fanboy. I'm a PlayStation fanboy, so I don't know what I'm doing that about. But
So the fact that PlayStation did so well with this one really does help them. They needed it, and they killed it.
And that's like this is going to be the time where PlayStation really needs to kill it with these exclusives that are coming out this year. And especially to kind of pull ahead before Halo comes out, because good, bad, or ugly, Halo's going to draw numbers, and it's going to sell consoles. It's going to move the needle towards Microsoft. Not to say that I have an exact measure on where the needle is right now, but which has more timed exclusive games coming out right now? Which one has more announcements and is doing more of these things? It's more so PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly.
Xbox right now really biding their time and very intelligently making moves that are going to make when they spring into action killer and awesome. And I am going to have a very tough time not wanting and getting a Series X or S when those games come to fruition.
Yeah.
You know what game isn't coming to fruition and hasn't? And it's a lot. We're kind of kicking a dead horse here.
This is the Blue Box game?
Is the tinfoil hat on, Boater?
Is it the Blue Box Studios game?
No. No. This is a game that should have had a tinfoil hat on after it came out because it probably would have shielded them more. But it is. We're staying within the Bethesda family because, oh boy, did Fallout 76 just keep stepping in it, walked forward, slipped, fell backwards into it, rolled over, got up, fell back into it, then got up, then realized they were covered in it.
What are they doing? Like, I thought Fallout 76 came out, it sucked, and we're done with it.
Nope. That game literally continues to slip and fall in itself and just cover itself in just nothing but bad press. And it just can't seem to get out of its own way.
This stuff is kind of slippery, so it's like, look, I see Fallout 76 coming.
Like, so they have a season pass system. It's got a lot of jargon, a lot of terminology, but I'm going to cut to the quick of they announced that, by the way, we're changing over from Season 5 to Season 6, on the 8th. It was going to be the rollover.
Okay.
So people wanting to finish their season passes, get the items that they want and things like that.
Yep.
If you don't have all the items and you want those, you pay money then because you can't grind. There's not enough time. The day before the changeover from Season 5 to 6, they announced, people were having issues using the in-game currency to buy things for the pass, so we're delaying it by 2 weeks. Giving people who thought they only had 24 to 48 hours to finish up their game passes,
and who then spent money to do so.
2 whole weeks, which, if you're really close to the end of a game pass, you know very well, as well as I do, that that's plenty of time to finish things up and get your affairs in order. So, they stepped in it, and they stepped in it bad, because people were livid. And they then turned around and filed for a undisclosed but seemingly large enough to create a press release amount of money about these microtransactions or in-game currency purchase refunds, which they're going to do it. They're going to give it back to the users. They are going to honor them. So once again, Bethesda, you get a little bit of a, you hit the diving board on the way down, but you recovered and you tucked just as you splashed into the water tummy first. So, I mean, I'll golf clap for you. You're doing, by and large, the thing that's not going to make the fans that are now furious then just leave.
Yeah.
Like, you are not proving that your commodity's money is valueless to you by saying, like, oh, well, future purchases don't matter because we got your money now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, yeah, we'll hold on to them, all that. While we're on the topic of Bethesda ZeniMax, do you remember? No cheating. Do you remember how much Microsoft spent in acquiring them?
The numbers 60 million come to mind, but I know that can't be it.
It was not 60 million. No, the number was 7.5 billion. $7.5 billion that Microsoft had spent acquiring ZeniMax earlier this year. Meanwhile, overnight, Chinese gaming companies Tencent and NetEase lost, and here's where you're thinking it sounded familiar, $60 billion. Or about 8 ZeniMax buyouts. Overnight.
I don't have the billions is not a number I can pick in my head. I've had a couple $1,000 in my possession at one point. Thanks a lot, car. No, seriously, thanks a lot, car. Don't break on me again. But 60 billion in losses.
My favorite thing that showed the perspective, because when you area also isn't something that humans can process that well. Tom Scott did a video on this, and I probably mentioned this one before, but he's like, if you took American dollar bills and stacked them up and then laid them down so that they are not end to end but on top of each other lying down. I will now walk the distance of $1 million. And he took a couple of minutes to do it while he was talking to the camera. Then he's like, I am now going to drive the distance of $1 billion. And it was a 1 hour long video, mostly highway. Billion is a lot, and there was 60 of them.
An hour worth of highway driving. That's disgusting.
And there was about 60 of those, again, in stock value overnight due to stock sell-offs. It's one of, like, it's because of what we've been following up on with the
That was moist.
The Chinese restrictions on minors gaming online, losing a lot of money for these gaming companies that also have to enforce this thing that makes them lose profit.
More like rigor mortis. Thank you so much for the resub.
Hey, thank you. We will absolutely, as soon as I finish with this, which is only going to take a second, we will recap what you missed and a little bit of extra celebration on the way. It is interesting. Like, there was a point when Tencent was buying everything under the sun every single week. We were remarking on, like, if it wasn't who was banned on Twitch, it was who did Tencent buy now. And that's why they're buying these foreign developers whose bottom line is not nearly as impacted by Chinese gaming restrictions, which are getting tighter and tighter. When they get shares in a Swedish company, when they have ownership in Riot Games, all of this, it keeps them, it helps to steady out their profit stream when their domestic market is going all over the place.
So, did you hear what some of the specifics of what the Chinese government were saying to Tencent that are going to happen, and some that are happening currently? They basically had like a big the government called in the executives for a couple companies, not just Tencent, but a bunch of these, and they told them specifically, you need to change your business models away from these solitary profit views, and they have added that they are going to slow approval times for new releases. For new games in China, especially online games for China,
because they've always needed government approval in order to release a game, and now it's like
that's huge, like to do. So that makes sense.
Part of me is like kind of looking forward to, like, I hope that this hurts their bottom line so that they're not as able to buy other companies, because frankly the amount to which China exerts creative control over other industries, like Hollywood can't make movies that portray China in a negative light. They just can't, not if they want to have it show in China. Like there's been I think the Red Dawn remake at the last minute was changed to like Korea.
Yep.
And digitally changed Chinese flags. And that was like 10 years ago at this point. But, we hear that stuff all the time. And I don't think it's going to get to this point, but part of me hopes that, like, please make the Chinese market a little more irrelevant so that creative companies, bigger companies can have that creativity.
To your original point when you began on those.
Sure, go ahead.
Did you look at Tencent stock over the last week, month, year, 5 years?
No, I didn't.
This specific $60 billion loss. Not a big thing.
Yeah, no.
Not a big thing for them. Tencent,
what percent? Is that like a 2% dip? Which is, that stings.
It's let's just put it this way. Their shares as of like 6:30 when I was looking at them were slated to close at $59 a share.
Mm-hmm.
When they started as a company many years ago, they were selling at $23. So they're still way over.
Yeah.
They're in the green. Like, not to say that I'm a stock expert or anything, but they are still money. They are still printing it. They still have it.
Yeah.
But if this is literally $60 billion in potential actions being taken against Tencent and other companies in the Chinese market, not actually the action.
Yeah, and it's not like
So-
they lost $60 billion. It's stock and company valuation worth and stuff.
Which
I don't fully understand. I am not a financial expert.
no, but GameStop rode that rocket straight into the sun, and why can't Tencent just stay on the sun like it is currently?
Let's really quick recap for those who have come into the show late. You may remember that we were talking up Epic versus Apple and the Coalition for App Fairness, where about a year ago, Epic decided
the
to
unofficial official spoke members for the Coalition for App Fairness here are the Nerd Glasses.
Epic decided to sell V-Bucks directly to Apple users rather than let the App Store take a 30% cut, and Apple was like, none of that, smack. And today, the judge came back and said that the App Store, well, apps on the App Store are allowed to link to external forms of revenue. So they can say, go here and get your thing at a slight discount, and we get all that money instead of some of it going to Apple. However, so we're like, yay, we win! Shall we?
I already broke both of them.
Oh, you popped it. Yay! Oh, this thing's...
Is it still taped?
No. Yay! This thing sucks.
That was
Whee!
that was very much representative of the recap of the exuberance that we had.
Yeah, because Epic won. Epic lost the rest of the counts. They're not allowed to relist Fortnite back on.
They won 1 of 10 counts. So the Coalition for App Fairness won 1.
Yeah.
Which was, to be
and
honest...
then Epic lost the rest. They were like, no, you broke the terms of service. Of course we're not going to force them to relist Fortnite. Apple isn't a monopoly. Look at all these other things that people can do to play games on. Success is not a monopoly, was a quote from the judge.
As they were handing down their ruling.
Yeah.
Which was really fun. But as the unofficial spokespeople for the Coalition for App Fairness, we're very excited for this victory. That was the most hilarious adult joke you guys both skipped over. Oh no! I heard it!
Was it because I had to pump it so many times?
I mean...
Listen, it happens to all of us at some point or another.
That's another sponsor we can get for the program. Blue Chew! Bammo! Let's get on that.
God.
You and I are actually 2 of the oldest
Oh, yeah.
members of Insane Games TV, so it would make sense that us, the old fogies,
Stop
are talking
it.
about Blue
Stop.
Chew. We should get an Insane Games.
Come on! What does that even mean? I need to see a doctor.
I'll just.
You want to give me a hint?
Yep. No, you go to a doctor and you talk to them about that. This we're gonna get so canceled.
We're going out with a poof. Okay. I had one more topic that I'll go through, and then Dave, you can bring us home with whatever else you got there. You know how we've been talking the last couple of weeks about how like Nintendo versus the fans and shutting down mods and events and stuff like that. Take-Two Interactive against the fans shutting down mods. Actually, I think I speed ran that last week. Because I ran out of time. Take-Two took down a bunch of mods, and then other mod users were like, "Whoa!" Before they even get to us, we're out. And so this one is Valve working with the fans. 2 Team Fortress 2 mods, Open Fortress and TF2 Classic, were temporarily taken down.
Okay.
And both teams explained... Well, actually, I'm going to read the tweets from each of the teams. There are teams that didn't necessarily work together, but they were taken down at the same time. And their statements on Twitter are oddly similar. Open Fortress says, downloads for Open Fortress are currently suspended due to an arrangement with Valve. The suspension is temporary, and we will keep you informed on future developments as they come. Stay tuned. TF2 Classic said, hi all, as of this post, downloads for TF2 Classic are temporarily disabled due to an arrangement with Valve. Basically the same wording. They add, this includes direct downloads to the mod through our website, Discord, and launcher, and they reassure, this is only temporary for now, we'll keep you posted for further information. Yeah, they don't seem concerned about it, whatever. The suspicion is that, like, Valve has numerous times in the past taken a mod and been like, you're official now. It happened, like, Counter-Strike is the most popular example of that, but I think even Team Fortress Classic was originally a third-party mod, or at least was under development as such, that they were like, hey, we would love to release this because Team Fortress, the Quake engine thing, was really popular, and we want to have a piece of this, so, we're bringing you on. Portal, I don't know if it was a mod, but a team that did something similar was hired in to do an official game based on a previous project they'd done. Valve does this kind of thing. So the speculation is that Valve is more or less making them official mods. I forget what Open Fortress is off the top of my head. TF2 Classic is basically like the game as it was at release without all of the craziness that's been in it since then, all the hats and all the extra attacks and everything like that.
Hacks.
And so you know how WoW Classic is an official thing that Activision Blizzard came out with.
Yes.
Before they came out with that, they forcibly shut down a WoW Classic mod to make room for their thing. Valve is saying, hey, we want in on that because that's popular. You guys work for us now. And the developers are like, hell yeah, that's awesome. Now, that isn't confirmed. That's what's going on with these. But that's more or less a suspicion. So, yep. It is not Valve versus fans. It is Valve with fans.
Potentially.
Um,
Once we find out what the announcement is.
For background, because I know more like Rigor Mortis doesn't quite necessarily know, hats are a cosmetic item that was added to Team Fortress as a thing that you can unlock and whatever, and it became emblematic of the silliness of the game past its original base level silliness.
And hacks was a popular expression shouted in many Gary's mod things, which is a property associated with Team Fortress 2.
You spelled it wrong. I gotcha.
Would No. All right. I was gonna say.
Okay.
I could put the tinfoil hat back on and really stretch it to something, but I'm not going to.
Okay. What do we got?
I'm pretty sure it might hurt your feelings.
That worked well. That's so much better than the
poppers
plunger
themselves.
thing. Yeah.
Which, by the way, they don't just sell these loose.
They don't just sell loose confetti anymore.
In Target.
Okay.
Where I was able to go between work and
we
work.
had a budget for today's show.
It was $20, and I blew it. God, there are so many stories. But the one that I do want to get to, because it is an up-and-coming game,
yes,
and it is a lot of fun, was 1047 Games, who are famous for the up-and-coming current beta, which has exploded and is a lot of places, called Splitgate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Splitgate is basically kind of Overwatch by way of Portal.
I wouldn't say Overwatch.
It's an arena first-person shooter, which for me, Overwatch is the first one that comes to mind. But I guess there are others.
So Overwatch, Quake, Doom, Doom multiplayer, all these other ones that you could think of.
By way
Halo.
of Portal, so that you've got, you can place those and you're shooting through them and attacking through them, whatever. I was seeing a lot of things of like early on during the beta when people were like, some people aren't using the portals really well. And I just put one on a nice overlook here, and then I hide around a corner and look through here and boom, 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 and win. It took people a while to come to grips with it. I think they've gotten better now, but Splitgate.
They announced firstly, and to dispel the rumors, that 1047 Games is not selling to a larger company.
Okay.
They're not being bought out because there were rumors left, right, and center.
That's what they want. That's what they always say.
Yes. This is why I bought a roll of it, by the way. But they did announce that they got $100 million in funding from prospective
Investors.
investors and things like that. And I am very excited for that because Splitgate, I have played exactly one match. I have seen Mike play a few here,
Nice.
and I have seen Steve play a few.
Yep.
I know a couple streams here on the Same Games TV have played it, and I've had them on in the background while working. And many other folks have tried this game out. You know what? It's an itch that needs scratching, and
Mhm.
it works.
Mhm.
The game's fun, the mechanics work, the game itself does pretty well, and they're now able to take that beta and polish it to where it's going to be a pretty fun game.
The beta was on what systems?
Yes.
Okay, so the beta was already was it cross-platform?
Not to my knowledge.
But it was out on a
Um,
bunch. It's not like it was just on PC and now they're like, oh, we're going to be able to develop it for console as well.
yeah.
But maybe they'll get crossplay. Maybe, who knows? They have a lot more money that is going to enable them to really get it to a high level of polish. A lot of that is probably going to go into QA because quality assurance, because right now probably the open beta was how they were doing QA, is relying on people to report bugs and such that they found. Now they
Yep.
can have a more controlled QA environment.
And they can hire way more people with 100 million simoleons.
Yeah, so they can hire people who will be being paid to look for bugs, not just to play it. Because when you do an open beta, most of the players aren't treating it as a beta. They're just as cool on being able to play it early, and it's a good stress test for your servers and stuff, your net code and all that. But they'll be able to hire more dedicated QA team, and they'll be able to hire people to squash bugs that are, because a lot more are going to be found and a lot more are going to need to be fixed. And a lot of times in this kind of game development, when you find one, two more pop up. So the money is going to be really helpful for working
Yeah.
on that kind of thing.
Um, do we have time for one or two?
We absolutely do. If as long as
Um,
I can. These are scented, and I am breathing it.
That's why I'm not leaning into the table because my PPE is right there. My silly streamers protection.
But it smells
Um,
so good, Dave.
no, no, it doesn't. Um, but for those of you who remember, back to a couple Nerd Glasses episodes of yore, we talked about how the Little Big Planet 3, Little Big Planet 2, and the Vita servers were taken down to protect user information and to figure out some hacking issues.
Yeah.
Well, the other day, they announced Little Big Planet 3 servers are back for PlayStation only.
Okay.
So the PlayStation 4 Little Big Planet 3 functionality is back, baby! And you
Yay!
can play those games, and all of the user levels are back.
Okay.
So that'll be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, this was one of those good news, bad news situations when mom and pop sit you down and talk about where Fido went. Because unfortunately, Little Big Planets, Little Big Planet 2, and Little Big Planet 3 for the PlayStation 3 and the Vita servers are permanently shut down and will not be returning.
That
They were not able
sucks.
to vet and were not comfortable relaunching them as an incomplete product, and also just as a product that can be jumped into in the future. Because Google the word PlayStation 3 and hacked, make sure you have a snack. It's a big story, and there's a lot of facets to it. But this is another victim of that issue on the PlayStation 3 where people got in and people moved into that
Yeah.
the code and all the other servers and things like that. On another story of kicking a dead horse.
Oh boy.
Our-
This is such a dumpster fire episode. It is almost all recapping stuff in like the most bad faith ways possible.
Well, it's not recapping. It's bringing,
It's following up on.
Yeah, it's following up because it's updates on stories that we have already covered. But thankfully,
But my
you, the
point about
viewers-
at least half of them being in bad faith stands.
Fair. Is Boater, let me ask you currently, can you take the pulse? Is Google Stadia alive?
I know where you're going with this. Google Stadia
Does
is
it have a pulse motor?
Google Stadia is alive. Whether it's living is a more philosophical debate that I would say no. But it is technically alive.
Not so fast, pal. And here's why. Because
See, no matter what I said, he was going to be contradictory if I said no, it's dead. And he said no, just because
Jack Boozer.
left doesn't mean that it's dead. It just means that it's.
However,
I can't win.
However, you know who did win? The director of games for Google Stadia, who was shifted over to the Google Cloud division.
Yeah, you see, it's still a lot. No, wait, hold on. Keep going.
Um,
I thought this was going the wrong way.
they were responsible for they were the director of games. They were responsible for getting in contact with game devs and publishers, working with the in-house Google Stadia (RIP) team, and getting other developers to say, "Hey, you want to be on Stadia too, and here's why." That must have been a really expensive steak dinner they take them for the pitches. By the way, bravo on getting Google's credit card. Please tell me it was the black card. Please. Please. I used to work for a construction company. I got to hold one of those. I got to go into a Home Depot with a black card. It was awesome. We literally bought heavy equipment for hundreds of thousands of dollars then. Not at Home Depot, but at other places down the line. But, ooh, is that fun just to plink that thing down and have him just run it through like it was me buying a bag of Doritos at Stewart's.
Wow.
But Google is moving more top-end executives away from Google Stadia and into other facets of Google, which, Butter, refresh my memory.
Dave, Stadia is alive, but Google is marching them forward, gun at their back, towards the graveyard. They're not dead yet, but they're getting there.
So, if anyone wants to buy us membership to the Coalition for App Fairness, or Google Stadia access, or Google Stadia-like thing, you can donate to Insane Games TV in the link down below. Make sure to hit that follow button down here. Make sure to ring that bell and be amazing like more like rigor mortis. And subscribe here. Get yourself that mic face emote.
Oh, sorry, I went to take a deep breath to say what was coming up next, and I just caught string dust. It's scented too, but like not in a good way. Anyway, this has been the Nerd Glasses podcast. Actually, I'm going to take a couple pictures and upload them, just like point of view. You're Boater, and all this happened. But coming up soon on the Nerd Glasses. No, hold on. Let me do this while I'm trying to talk. Yeah, that looks amazing. All the way up to what's on the ceiling. Yup. Coming up next on The Citadel, I am going to be playing Bulletstorm, which I haven't played before. We're going to be starting it as a new game. I think it's going to be mindless fun, but we'll see. All I know about it is that it set itself up as an antithesis to the Call of Duty war shooters of the day, so we'll see how that goes. So make sure that you stay tuned here. Normally, it's about 15 minutes between this show and the next one. We have a little more cleanup to do, but by 8:30, we should be live on The Citadel, so make sure that you stick around for that. In the meantime, this has been the Nerd Glasses podcast, celebrating an amazing win
for the Coalition of App Fairness. Sorry about your damn luck, Epic.
I'm not the only one. I've been Boater.
I've been Dave Man.
And we'll see you next time.
Make it last forever. Stop in time.
me see. You broke my nose! I'll fix it. Nah, looks better the other way.
So alive, make it last forever. Stop in time, yeah, I'm surrendering. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies. Only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move.
Let me see. You broke my nose!